How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. Tonight, we are doing another segment on Get to Know That Cosplayer, and tonight's featured guest is Minty Poison. How are we doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing fairly well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
So,
most you can hope for some days.
right. So, real quick question, and that's just actually something I'm going to start asking more often now, is how did you come about the name for Minty Poison?
So mine's probably not as exciting as a lot of people. I know a lot of them are like, oh, it's based off of like my childhood friend's name or something like that. Back in the ye old days of like, 2009, 2010, I was like every teenager, I was on Guy Online. And
Oh,
I actually
the good old days of Guy Online, IMVU, and Me's.
the ye old internet days,
Oh
for
God,
sure.
the
Um,
cringe.
oh man, I still love it. But I was actually, so I have been doing like little character illustrations for a really long time. And I was doing avatar commissions, artwork for people. And one of the clients that I had the name Minty Poison. And I'm like, that is freaking adorable. So I always kind of had it like in my back pocket if my normal username that I used was used somewhere. So like, if I was trying to make an account on like Pandora, oh crap, my normal one's used. So I just always had that in my back pocket, and I decided that wanted to stop inundating my friends who I had on Facebook with all of my cosplay crap for a really long time. And I was like, what is a good name? Like, I didn't necessarily want to use my old username, and I was like, I got it. Um, so yeah, I half stole this from somebody's username on Gaia, but it actually works out. One of my favorite colors is mint, so I was like, mint. I like mint stuff. Minty poison. It works out really well.
Nice. That works out pretty well. So, how long have you been cosplaying for?
So just to totally show my age, so my first cosplay that I ever wore was back in 2007. And it was made by my mom at the time because I was, still a kid at the time, and I was like, I don't know how to sew, mom, make me a cosplay. Um, After I got into anime, and I have been making my own for about 9 years. I've been sewing my own cosplays since about 2012.
So you've definitely been doing it for a long time. If you've been cosplaying
Yeah.
for so you can cosplaying for so you've been cosplaying for 13 years? Almost?
Yep, just about.
Oh my! And what did you say your
uh,
first cosplay was again?
my first ever cosplay was Sakura from Naruto.
Oh wow,
Because
that's
yeah, my first con was '06. So again, just to totally show my age here. But yeah, that was my first ever cosplay that I wore. And then the first one I ever made was again back in 2012, and that one was the Gala Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony, and it was the cutest thing I've ever made.
nice, nice. Yeah, I've taken a look at your Instagram. You cosplay quite a few characters from like anime shows and TV, like back in the day. I think I saw you cosplay as Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, that's my most recent kind of big build that I've publicly shown. And again, I'm just like, oh hey, how to feel old in like 2 seconds. Um, that was actually Kingdom Hearts was one of my first big video game loves. I've literally been playing it since the game came out, and I've always wanted to do a Sora cosplay for a really long time. either from 2 or 3 when the artwork for that came out. Um, and by the time 3 hit, I was like, I'm really not into crossplay. Like, I'm not necessarily comfortable with it. What if I put him in a skirt?
I mean, it looks really well done from like the jacket to the dress to the boots and gloves and everything.
Thank you. Oh yeah, no, this is Sora is like my all-time favorite character. I do occasional streams, and my background is one of my walls, and it's just like all Sora art in the background. He's definitely one of my like first big character crushes, where I'm just like, oh, my sweet boy.
Nice. I mean, I can tell you like cosplaying a lot of characters like in dresses and skirts and everything, and very not trying to sound like most where people get upset, like very feminine type characters.
Yeah. So I was definitely one of those kids where I was like, ew, it's girly. I don't like it when I was growing up. And then I hit about 17, and I'm like, why am I even bothering with that? So I just like fully leaned into it. And yeah, now it's definitely one of those like I show a cosplay that I'm doing to one of my friends, and they're just like surprised if there's not a fluffy skirt or if I don't bedazzle it or add lace somewhere. So I might as well lean into it and have fun with it. And yeah, I have a blast doing it.
Nice. I think that's like always the best thing to do. So, and back on the topic, did you make your own Sakura cosplay from Naruto?
So that one, because my mom didn't trust me with the sewing machine at the time. I was like 14, 15. She was like, do not touch my babies. So I did a lot of the cutting on that one. That was actually where I learned how to make, and also I learned my hate for bias tape making.
Wait,
Um,
bias what?
Bias tape. So it's like kind of like trim almost. Is what I use it for. I know some people use it for like binding and things like that. Um, but yeah, so you can make it, but the process is really frustrating. And that was my first sewing project. Was my mom put me on the bias tape duty for doing like the white outlines on Sakura's outfit. Um, so, but otherwise, yeah, she made the whole thing for me. So that's why I say, I've been wearing costumes since 2007, but I've been making my own since 2012. But
Nice.
yeah, but yeah, Sakura was my first ever cosplay that I had worn. Yeah.
Very nice. And now for her wig, I know she has like 2007. So this is when she still had her long. Wait, no, was this back when she had her? Did you cosplay the long-haired version where she was still in school, or her short-haired version?
Um, so this was the short hair version. Um, 2007 would have been like right around when they were like teasing Shippuden, I think. So but I did the short hair red dress version. And then for the wig on that, just because again, ye old days of 2007,
Cringy,
that was
the
actually my
cringy
own
years.
hair.
With
Oh yeah, no.
I'm just like
um
looking back at it now, just where, and I don't mean to interrupt, where people would still get made fun of cosplaying. Now,
mhm.
where it wasn't as mainstream as it is today.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was the best of times and worst of times. But as for the wig on that one, so when I first wore it, it was my second con ever, Sakura Con 2007, and I had actually cut and dyed my own hair for that.
Really?
Yeah, it's what you did when you couldn't find a wig. You talked to your mom into letting you dye your hair pink. Uh,
I can't imagine how your mom thought about that.
she was a little hesitant at first. She was like, "Really, you want to dye your hair? Like you just got into high school and you're already gonna do this." Um, but she looked at the prices of wigs at the time and she was like, "Nope, so you're getting your
Oof.
hair dyed tomorrow." And I'm like, "Cool, thanks, mom."
Ugh.
So at like 14ish, I had my first foray for bleh, first dive into colored hair. I can't talk today, so that's
You're
been a
fine.
joy.
You're fine. You're good. You're fine. No worries. So, what was it like going to Sakura Con all those years ago?
It was a whirlwind. So 2006 was actually the first year that I went. And I didn't realize this at the time. I thought, oh, it's a convention center. Conventions are always in convention centers. Because
Nope.
that's how 13-year-old brains think. Um, so yeah, so 2006 was my first year, and I didn't realize that was actually the first year that they were at a convention center. So I didn't even notice anything wrong with the con. I didn't think anything was wrong with the line cutting through the atrium on the fourth floor in the Seattle Convention Center into one of the exhibition halls for registration. I didn't think it was weird that um, you any of the other kind of weird things that were there. Like they had Artist Alley in this dead end hallway, and I didn't think anything was weird about that. I was in shock and awe at the whole thing. At that point, I had only been into anime for like a couple years, but between like 2004 and 2006, I really, really like full on elbow deep jumped into it. And my friend let me know, like, hey, by the way, there's an anime con, and I'm like, anime con, what is that? Uh, in my 2005 naivete. Um, and my mom was like, okay, well, if you get good enough grades, like you do when you're in school, we'll take you to go. And I ended
The
up,
old you behave, we go to Disneyland kind of thing.
yep, if you get good grades, I'll take you to SakuraCon. But she was like, okay, well, if you get good grades, we'll take you there. And I got stellar grades, so we ended up going. And that was actually the first time I'd ever seen a cosplayer at that point too. So like my brain is already totally scrambled because it's just like there are all of these people and everybody's screaming. And did that person just say you lost the game? What does that mean?
Oh
Um,
God.
what is this glomping thing? What's going on? Because
Nom,
my friend,
rar, and all that.
oh yeah, oh yeah, did you just raw my girl? Um,
Oh God. Just the
the
ugh.
whole 9 yards, whole 9 yards. But that was really the first time that I saw cosplay and a cosplayer, and I was immediately enamored. Um, I'd actually grown up in like the SCA circuit, medieval
SEA.
reenactment circle. Yeah,
Okay, no, okay.
yeah. So I already kind of had that love for the appreciation for sewing. But that kind of like really spurred me into like, mom, I want to learn how to sew. Like I want to make that fluffy card captor dress. I want to make that really pretty vampire outfit. I can't think of the name of the anime off the top of my
Vampire
head.
Knight.
Trinity Blood.
Oh, Trinity Blood.
Um, yeah, Trinity Blood. I really want to make one of those Trinity Blood costumes. I really want to make, I want to do Naruto next year. I want to do, Kingdom Hearts 2 Aerith. Like, mom, I need to do this. And she was like, okay, calm down. Number one. Because I was all over the place. And I only got one day my first year. And I was like, mom, we have to go back. So the next year, she got me the full weekend pass, and I just jumped right head into it. But you're right, it was definitely the cringe years, the like, oh god, why did I do that?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Um. But I imagine, since then, it sounds like your cosplays have definitely took a different turn. Like from what I've seen, you've done a lot more fancier types, like your Farion and your Sora and everything.
Yeah, the Sylveon was actually kind of my first jump into like, I'm gonna start doing comp. I started doing competitions. I've been doing them on and off for a while, but 2017 was really the first year that I was like, I'm going to get into this and I'm going to jump headlong into it because that's what I do. I either don't do it or I jump so far into it you wonder what's wrong with me. So 2017, I brought a pretty simple cosplay into the contest down at KomoriCon. And I was honestly, I was a little ashamed when I walked off stage. I was like, this is way too simple. Like, why did I do this? Why did I come up here? So it was then at that point, like we got back to our hotel room and everyone was like, Minty, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And I'm just like, I'm planning. And they're like, we don't like the sound of that. So that was kind of the night that I decided like I'm going to do big cosplays from now on. They're going to be bright and fancy and shiny. And my friend had designed a Sylveon dress. And I was like, hey, I said I wanted to make this a little bit ago. Can I actually make this for a contest? And she's like, yes, please. Um, so that's kind of how I got started into doing the big things was like, I'm doing competitions. I might as well go big or go home.
Nice. And I've noticed, I saw with your Sylveon, you have a fan that says yes on it. Mind sharing a little bit about that?
Oh goodness. I have a lot of friends who are like beyond supportive. Like sometimes I'm like, do I even deserve these precious beans? Um, so a lot of people, whenever I post that, because it was such a big build for me. I probably worked next to nonstop outside of like having to go to work or eat or something like that. You know, the lame things. Um,
The adult things.
the lame adult things. And so a lot of my friends were following my progress really heavily on that because they were like, "Are you okay? Like, blink twice if you need us to bring you food." Um, because the petticoat on that was handmade, and that took me probably like 2 of the 6 months that I worked on it. I can't even tell you how many times I stabbed myself while
Wait,
I
that
was
took you
weaving
six
it.
months?
Yep.
Oh my god.
I've
Holy
actually been
shit.
working in, I've been working on something that's been taking me about 2 years right now. That's with a lot of on and off work. Um, but yeah, it can take a while for contest pieces.
Oh, good
Or
god.
sometimes in this case, I'll blow through it way too quickly. Um, but yeah, I wasn't eating a whole lot while I was doing that. I was working pretty much nonstop on it. Like if I wasn't at work, if I wasn't like making dinner or something like that, I was probably doing something for Sylveon. So yeah, between like, wait, Minty, you have to work in 2 hours. Like, why are you still up? And I'm just like, the beating's not done.
Hmm.
Or with how many times I jabbed myself. There were multiple nights where it's just like, I'm going to throw the whole thing away and I'm just going to stop cosplaying. I said as I, got back up at way too early the next day to start working on
You're
it
not.
again.
I feel like you're not truly into your sewing for a big cosplay if you're not somehow hurting yourself. I
You
think.
know, I mean, it's a joke. And I know some people, who are just like, well, we're taking it a little too far there. But yeah, I mean, it's always one of those like, if you don't have a night at 3 in the morning where you break down over something that is going wrong on your construction, your sewing machine won't work, your seams won't line up for some reason, something like that. Um, you're not, are you even doing it right?
There
It's
you
always
go.
blood, sweat, and tears, and it's literally if you
Uh,
don't bleed on some part of it, is it even a project at that point?
Now, that brings up to my next question, and everyone's answer is different, but I feel like a lot of people can relate. Have you ever had that one cosplay where something didn't go right? So like during making it during a con, like something ripped, torn, fall off, just didn't go right to where you like just were like not happy with it.
um, I've had a couple, just because. So I post some of my old stuff on Instagram, occasionally, but there are two or three that I will never ever show, and I honestly don't even know if there are existing pictures of them. Um, There was one in particular that I did after I start like right after I started sewing. So I went from Gala Pinkie Pie, where I had a lot of help on that. I had a sewing group up here that helped me out with it. My mom helped me with the bustier because she was like, "You just started. You're not going to be able to get this. I will help you, but I'm gonna, walk you through the construction and everything." Um, and after that, so I was working at Sanrio at the time, and they released this really cute Decora Hello Kitty line, and I lost my mind over it. It was so cute, and I loved it, and it was like all these little like beads and buttons, and I'm like, that dress is really cute. I'm gonna put that on me. Um, if it probably would be easier for me to list the things that did go right on that costume. Um, so, like I said, this was the first costume I'd ever made on my own, with like very minimal help. Like I had somebody hem it for me, and like check the fit, and that was about it. And by the time that I was done, like it fit like a potato sack. It looked like, I mean, I was just like throwing buttons at it and everything, and it looked like a mess.
I'm just like
Um,
I'm just like picturing like you're literally throwing like you have a bucket of buttons and you're just throwing them at the dress.
how did you know what I did? It just nothing, like it just, by the time I got done with it, like I was so proud of myself at the time because I'm just like, I made my first dress. I made, like, I did my first like really weird pleat skirt and everything, and I was really proud of it at the time. And then after I saw pictures of it, I'm just like, can I light this on fire now?
Just like
Um
just hold it up with the lighter and just like okay, you're done. You no longer exist.
yeah, I still have it. But I've done a couple other like smaller Decora things, and I'll just like, oh, I need to go get a cupcake button. Wait, I have a cupcake button on that skirt or that dress I don't like, and I'll just like go through and rip off all the buttons on it. Um, and it's really unfortunate because I was really proud of it at the time, but I'm even at the like a couple weeks after, I was looking at it like, oh, I don't ever want to look at these photos again. Um, and yeah, the whole thing just like started falling apart on me at one point.
Oh no.
So I had to like go find so I had bloomers on it underneath the skirt, and I was wondering why one leg, like I could feel the bloomers really tight on my legs, and the other one I suddenly had AC going up my leg, and I'm like, that's not right.
Uh-oh.
So I looked down, and one side was perfectly still where it needed to be, sitting all nice and pretty, and the other side was just like a loose pant leg
Oh
with the elastic
no.
heel. And I'm like, cool. So I had to like skitter into a little panel room and just like sit in the back and measure out elastic and like hand sew it while I'm still wearing the bloomers. And um yeah, it was a mess.
Okay, it sounds like it. Oh no.
So yeah, that's probably like
Uh,
my biggest. I will never wear this again. I am never going to show photos of it. I'm going to do my best to scrub the internet of these photos.
I don't. Oh man, that's just I can't imagine what it's like just not wanting to like I get it. There are cosplayers out there who just don't want people to see that one cosplay because if the cosplayer doesn't like it, it's other people may not or some people will, but I feel like if they don't like it and they don't want to show it, there's a reason.
Yeah.
You're like you were just saying. Ugh. So we got about 6 minutes. Are there any other projects you're working on? I know you were saying you were working on one for like almost 2 years. Mind giving a little bit of hint about that?
Yeah, so it's actually something that I've kind of shared already. So my partner and I, Eminem Cosplay for anyone wondering, uh, we've been cosplaying together for about a year and a half to close to 2 years now. And we decided on a whim that we were going to make Albedo and Sheltier from Overlord. So I
Wait,
have
I mean
been
that
working.
giant skeleton dude?
That is the main character, yes. So I watched it after her because she was like, I love this character Albedo, and I'm like, honey, I love you. I have no idea what you're talking about. So after SakuraCon that year when she brought it up, I watched it and I'm just like, oh no, Mishi, I love Sheltier. And she's like, good, I love Albedo. Let's do this. So I have been on and off making Sheltier for about 2 years now. And she's been on and off making Albedo for about 2 years. Um,
Nice.
and I have way too many other projects going right now. My current one, is actually a secret one. Um, I just got the blessing of a YouTuber to make their avatar. Um, and I'm not going to say who yet. And I'm not going to show the whole thing until it's like ready to go. I've been doing like little bits and pieces, but I just actually, it's probably the most ridiculous and dumbest thing I've ever made. But I just finished up a fully rhinestoned bow tie. So it's probably the sparkliest thing in my collection now.
Ooh, actually, I think I just saw that on your Insta.
Yeah, I just posted a work in
That
progress on it. It's ridiculous.
that is like a like oh my. I feel like I need earmuffs just to.
Yeah, earmuffs, sunglasses, it's loud and bright, and that's exactly
Oh
what I wanted to go for
wow.
with it.
No,
But
I'm
it's
like I'm and with your permission, would I be able to show that on here for the
absolutely
Okay, like
feel
I said,
free, yeah.
this video won't be posted for a while because I got like 20 so other people ahead of you like I've been busy.
Yeah. But yeah,
Um
no, that is it's something else.
but yeah, no, shout out to your partner Mishi as well. I just took a look and they've got some really good cosplays as well.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And it actually kind of works out. So, I'm mostly home trained. Like I said, I'm SCA born and raised. My mom has literally been in the SCA since, I was in utero. So it's something I grew up with. And she taught me how to sew after she learned how to home sew as well. And Mishi is professionally trained. She actually has a degree in fashion. Um,
Nice.
so we make like the perfect pair of like I do mostly historical and home sewing, but she has like all of the industry terms and all of the industry knowledge. So it's really nice when it's just like, Minty, why isn't this corset working? And I look at it and it's like it's a historical pattern. You're not supposed to make it pretty because she's used to making, pretty outer corsets where I'm used to making, Elizabethan Victorian corsets, which are they're not meant to be pretty.
They're more detailed and classy kind of in a
Yeah,
sense.
they're more functional, like especially with I would typically make like, lower middle class type outfits. So, mine are like duck canvas and really gross cotton cord and
Oof.
any like binding I can find, and it's perfect because you're never gonna see it. Like you're gonna see the outside of it and it's gonna be really pretty. The outside will be pretty, but the inside where the actual structure is,
It's just like
there's
a
like
mesh of this and that.
yeah, it's a mash of whatever I can get together on it. And like you can see all of my like channel stitches and you're just like, oh God, like that looks
Oh
horrible
my.
when you're just looking at it. But then I put a cover on it, and you're just like, oh, that is actually really pretty.
So we got a minute to go. Any quick advice you'd like to give for first-time con goers and cosplayers?
Drink water, ask permission for pictures, butt on the floor, photos no more.
Wait, what?
It's a phrase I like to use, butt on the floor, photos no more.
Oh, okay, okay. Like
So
if they're sitting relaxing, they don't want any photo.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, if somebody is sitting down or they're putting food in their face, even if they're not sitting down, just don't ask for pictures at that time.
That's
Chances are you're going to see the person again. Still, ask then.
that's just one way for them to look at you with like the most mean-mugging face and hissing at you.
Yeah, I actually have this nice little fan that a friend of mine made where it has yes on one side and no with the camera and
Yeah,
the like
actually, I
line
saw that
through
with
it.
your Sylveon.
Yep. It is my favorite fan to carry around because if I'm like dying or I'm trying to run to a panel, I can just flip it over to the no and book it.
Real quick, mind saying who made you that fan?
Ro Higashi. She is the artist for a lot of the Sakura Con mascots. And she also, I'm totally pimping out other people and not myself. Um, she is the artist of the webtoon Half the Crown as well, and she's a sweet bean.
And she goes by Rogue what?
Ro Higashi.
Rohagashi. Shout out to Rohagashi. And we're gonna have to wrap it up here. Again, Minty Poison, thank you for coming on and sharing about your cosplay and convention experiences.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
You are most welcome. Again, everyone, thank you for listening. I am Wayne the Unknown, joined here by Minty Poison. Until next time, thank you for watching.